Welcome to the next episode of Perspectives with Jeremiah Stephenson, and I'm your host, Jeremiah Stephenson. I've got a friend of mine, acquaintance really, but I feel like after our last hour of conversation before this podcast, we've become friends. We have Brandon Williams.
Hello.
How you doing?
This is weird for me.
It is. This is
very weird.
You said earlier that this was something you've always wanted to do.
Yeah, I always wanted to do like a bucket list thing.
Yeah. So why? Like, what drew you to that?
I don't know, man. It's just, I think eventually everybody gets to a point to where they just want to tell their story.
Yeah. Oh, and that's actually the first question.
Oh, it is?
It is. My first question is always, who are you and what is your story?
My name is Brandon Williams. I don't know exactly who I am. And a little story I have. Okay, so I was born in Augusta, Georgia. Raised by my mom pretty much. My mother met my stepfather. They ended up getting married and he joined the Navy. And so we ended up moving, I think the first place was to Illinois. Now it's like my first experience of like snow on like a heavy level.
Yeah.
I think that's where I fell in love with the cold actually.
Okay, nice.
Because I'm very hot natured.
I am too.
So it's like I love to be cold.
Yes, because you can
winter.
control how heated you want to be.
Yeah, like I can fucking
control.
You can't take off your skin, bro.
Yeah,
like
you can't control.
As soon as you get out here, you're like,
fuck this southern heat.
And it just soaks out your energy.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it. And then we end up moving to California. You know, of course, over there, that's like dry heat, right? Mm-hmm. So dry heat is a little different. I mean, you'll cook, but it's not like...
It's not like, oh, I'm actually sizzling in this motherfucker.
Yeah, you get in the shade and you're like, fine.
Yeah.
But it's like you get out, it's going to be beaming on you, but like the summer heat is just like a hot towel. Mm-hmm. Like towel, just like a sauna.
Yeah.
But yeah, California was great, man. I had really good memories as a kid growing up. I really enjoyed it. And then we moved to Washington State, and that's when it got back to the cold. And it was like cold 8 months out the... Well, okay, I must be exaggerating, but you know, it was cold until April. It'll snow close to this time. Mm. And then we moved back here, and that's when I went to high school and then college at Piedmont. And I've pretty much been a Georgia boy since.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. What... Coming from the South and living in all those different places, kind of what did that look like to you? Were there differing ideas about life that you can like think about? Like
ideas about life? That's Well, I mean, you know, you coming from like the South, you get more of like the Bible Belt.
Yeah.
And then like growing up, and then you moving out into the West, it's a lot more progressive and a lot more. Like growing up, like race was never really like a thing over there as much as it would be in like the South. Yeah. And it's so prevalent. Mm-hmm. But then like growing up as a kid over there, it was just like, it was a mix of everything. Yeah. So you never really saw that. Mm-hmm. You would experience it every now and then, but not on that deep level. Yeah.
So what did your high school years look like?
High school was pretty much here in Athens, my dude. Athens, Georgia. Clark Central. Mm-hmm. I was a big kid in high school when I dropped.
So kind of what was your interest growing up? Like who were you, Brandon, as a kid? Like,
dude, I grew up as a wrestler, like a huge wrestling fan. Like wrestling was like pretty much my entire childhood growing up. Mm-hmm. So like my favorite character was The Undertaker. Okay. Do you know who that is?
Yes, I do. My older brother loves wrestling.
Really?
So he's always telling me about it.
Oh man, The Undertaker. Hands down, favorite character of all time. I'm talking about like even when he went to Biker era, back to like the Dead Man. He's like forever one of my favorite characters. And so I still check on it this day. I don't get a chance to watch it like on TV. But it's just like old videos of what happened next. I'm still checking up on it. But yeah, man, that's pretty much me. I grew up wrestling. I did wrestling a little bit. I did a little bit of football. It was flag. It wasn't tackle. It was middle.
Yeah, I was going to say I did flag. I think in elementary.
And wrestling was pretty cool.
Next year you can do regular football. I was like, don't hit me, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's just like I don't want to be hit.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I'm not cool with that. And then in high school, I kind of fell in love for like, you know, the media world, film, television, photography, type stuff like that. Yeah. Then I graduated college, and that's pretty much what I did. I did a little bit of PA work early on, then some photography. Now I talk to people all day.
Nice. What did you major in college?
Mass communication. So like TV, radio, all that fun. What was it? Newspaper, public relations, all that in the general. Yeah, you just like, it's so broad.
Yeah. So what was college like for you? What was that experience?
College, I would say, college is cool. I mean, most of everybody does like they're exploring in college, and I think that's where like most of my exploring, like sexuality wise, kind of went as well. I regret college in the sense of I think student loans are ridiculous, but I love, like, I don't regret it from the experience and like the people that you meet, and that coming to, it's like a huge part of the story of like who I am today. Mm-hmm. And so, actually, no, let's go back to high school.
All right, let's go back to high school.
Because I think that's where our topic is bisexuality.
Okay.
That's what we're going to be talking about today.
All right. I thought you said black sexuality.
Black sexuality.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I am black.
You are? Okay, yeah. Because I've been telling people, it's like, yeah, I got this dude over talking about black sexuality. I don't know what the fuck that is. I thought niggas
I said
fuck.
bisexuality.
Okay, sorry. I was so excited, motherfucker. I was like, I'm about to learn some Conalugu shit.
that weird moment. No, bisexuality, my dude.
Okay, cool.
What is, like, that would be interesting.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like there's a
being black and bi. Is that like?
I was talking about just black sexual, like in terms of like black sex specifically, but bisexuality, bi black. I don't know. Would that be? Wouldn't it just be sexuality then?
Would it be? Yeah, it would be.
But like, what adds? Like, what's black about sex? What's white about sex? You know what I'm saying?
That would be an interesting topic to really break that down. Yeah. Study it.
Yeah.
If there was like a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
Nah, sex is sex, bro.
That's what I'm saying. All right. So you want to go back to high school?
Yeah, I think that was like my first sexual experience with like a guy in high school.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm thinking like, okay, so like at high school, you first experience it. And I think like throughout my life, I have like incursions of like sexuality where things will happen to you.
Yeah.
And you know how some people react bad, and when you don't react bad, mm-hmm. you're just like, okay, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And then you ignore it. And then like high school, you experience something for real, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is this what it is?
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, growing up as like a bisexual kid, it's like most of your life is spent trying to figure shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Like whether or not, like I think I went through more questions of whether or not I was fighting liking one for another.
Yeah.
Or if like one was going to like take over. Like in my mind, I just explained it on some weird scale. Of, like I'm weird. People don't like me because they can sense it. Like you just go through like so much like mental self-hate that when you finally get to a point to where you just accept that you just like both.
Yeah.
And that you experience life with both. That's when it's like freeing.
Yeah.
And then you get to see like the world for what it is. And you think like sexuality, it's like, like why does it have to be defined? It's like let you get like a visual picture. I just did like an explosion with my hand.
Yeah, Brandon did an explosion with his hand.
I did an explosion. Just picture my hands coming together and then boom. And like take a few seconds to imagine that. That's what coming out. And I had like my biggest coming out moment was not too long ago to like my uncle.
Okay.
And you know, he came from a world where something like that was more likely going to get you killed. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, that was like my biggest fear was like telling him and coming out to him that I was bi. But like when I did and how smooth like it went, he was just like, it's your life, kind of like do whatever fuck you want. It's like that moment where you go to people and you're like, who did you get pregnant? It's like your parents' like first reaction. Yeah. That's what they're thinking. Who's pregnant? Like, I'm not quite on that scale.
So where... I don't know which question to ask first. When did it start for you? You know what I mean?
When did it start for me?
When did you when did you realize and understand it?
When did I realize and understand it was just recently, and I still don't think I like understand it fully.
Okay. Well, I mean, like going back to the beginning as a younger person.
When did I start accepting? Oh,
yeah. Like, what's that story?
Like growing up. Okay. And so I could just remember instances like as a kid. Like you'll have like a friend like randomly like kiss you and you're just like, what the fuck? Yeah. But then you ignore it and it's just like nothing happened. And then maybe you'll witness a situation where some kids will get beat up in that situation. You're just like, why didn't I react bad? It's like in your head. Mm-hmm. And then you just go through life thinking of that. And then you have like experiences going back and forth. And then you get confused because you have experiences with girls and you have experiences with guys. And you're just like, why do I like both of these? Like, is one of them going to like... Because you know how like society's built where it's just like, you have like so much hate for just what is. Yeah. Like everything has to be categorized. Everything has to be like a male, female. You're this sex, you're that way. You're either gay. Oh, my bad. I'm just going to remove it. You either, you know, back then, way back then, you're either gay or straight. Bi, you're just confused. You're like almost confused gay. Is that like back then? You know, that's what like bisexual was. Yeah. And then like all these other different sexualities start coming in, and I think it's just one of those where it's like you do another. You finally pop the bubble, and it goes.
So when did you start coming out? When did
I start coming out?
Or I don't know, like coming
out. I would say I feel
because I feel like that's
really
like
a coming out, or
it's like you're hiding something. I feel like it's like
you spend most of your life trying to hide it from certain people.
True, but I feel like it's also a moment of accepting it out to everybody.
That's true.
So I feel like you should just like
when did I finally was just like fuck it to the world?
Yeah, I guess.
To me, I feel like I was late because it was like within like the last 2 years of my life. It was just like kind of fuck it. And I still feel like I struggle with most of it to this day. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would say like within the last 2 years, I would say like even before that, you spend most of your time, like some people you'll tell, some people you don't out of fear of how they're just going to react. And you just like, you don't want things to be like different, but then it's just like you change it back in a sense of like, fuck it. Let me just go out and be with it. Whoever's there is going to be there. And I think like growing up, you just have the stigma of like the social norms and you're just trying to fit what most people like. And then when you feel like, fuck it, I'm tired of that shit. Let me just be me. Maybe mine came like a little late, but that's just where I'm at now, man. It's just like you have experiences with like girls and guys. And it's just like I used to be so closed up. Yeah. Because I was just so confused on what I'd like and what I dislike. Mm-hmm. And like what was right and what was wrong. Why am I feeling this? And then self-hate. And then you're thinking about religion. Yeah, how religion will take a whole new fucking mic drop to that shit when
like,
you add religion to it.
This giant thing on my back and shoulders too. Like just get free of this one thing, but then you drop something else. Yeah,
and then like religion, it takes more of a negative approach, and you're just like, fuck.
I'm going to hell. Yeah. I'm going to hell.
Am I going to hell or? I mean, it can't be wrong if you just feel it. You know what? Fuck it. I'm tired of it. And then you just free yourself. And so, yeah, I would say my biggest coming out to moments like when I finally told my uncle, like the one person that I was most afraid would take it in a negative way. That, you know, you just start, you coming out with it and then everybody's like cool with it and it's just like nothing. And then you realize it's like, I wasted years of like self-hate. And just hiding from people and probably experiences that my voice is cracked. Wow.
That's fine. It's
experiences good. Of you know, that could have turned out to be something if you weren't in such a closed off mindset.
Yeah, it's that I lost it. I was just holding it, but that feeling of freeness. That feeling of love that you realize that everyone else around you loved you enough for who you were, that you had to experience that pain and heartache, not
to really appreciate it.
Not realizing how much they actually loved you.
And it's just, I think you get more mad. And let me think about anybody who's listening to this. If you're like bisexual, you got a different perspective. This is just
I was gonna say
my view.
This is Brandon's view. Yeah,
this is this is what bisexual is because I don't know what bisexuality on a full scale really is. Which I looked up the definition earlier today.
Yeah,
and it said, okay, the quality or fact of being sexually attracted, not exclusively to people of one particular gender, which is pretty much saying anyone, right?
Yeah.
I think that's just what it is. I'm just attracted to fucking people.
Yeah. Well, love is love, and then fucking is fucking.
Yeah, but then it's just like, fucking is fucking. It is what it is. But then it's like, I think I get more mad at myself. It's like growing up, so much time you spend hating and then questioning, and then, you know, what if something could have been like a love story had I not been in such like a headspace? Yeah. Of like negativity, and then when you finally come out with it, It's like, oh.
But I think sometimes, not even but, because that sounds like I'm negating what you're saying. I'm trying to add on to it in a really good way. I think that you being able to come to terms with everything and being able to get to a place of freedom helps impact the next person that's at that
true.
earlier stage that you had to experience. So it's like organisms inside the human body. We're always, some of them are dying while the other ones are growing, but they're all working together to get to a better place.
That's true.
So you having to go through all these things and get to a place of, I finally love myself, can help little Timmy down the road who's like...
Little Timmy? Specifically, little Timmy.
He's just
You're a bi kid. You're going to be all right. Brandon Williams went through what you're about to go through. You're fine, bro. Just accept
But like, by hearing Brandon Williams' stories, like, little Timmy can learn at an earlier time to where he can grow farther than you.
That's true.
So that the next person and the next person. So
yeah, I mean, there's like little nitpicks that I can go into.
Oh,
like,
no,
how much time do we have, my
dude?
guy?
We have a whole hour.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
because I didn't think we were going to get to this as soon as we did. I thought we were going to go through a little bit, like 30 minutes of you just talking about you and other stuff.
Nah,
and then we're just jumping.
Because think about it, like, this is me.
Yeah,
like,
you're very. I love so
sexuality. Like, it's a big part of people's lives.
So I'm going to start this off as we continue. I don't know why I started this off, but I met Brandon. I think it was at the local.
Was that our first meet?
I think it was our first meet at the local. I'm pretty sure it was. It was a night of karaoke.
Okay.
There was drinking. There was things going on galore.
Oh, yeah. A lot of times
you were a weird motherfucker because you stare at motherfuckers with this like stare of like trying to read and understand people to the place where like, I know you are. I know your soul.
I blame the Undertaker. No, I used to have to. Yeah. Oh man, people used to have to catch me all the time, like staring. And most oftentimes, when I'm staring, I'm actually thinking some. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Most oftentimes, like when I'm just off, like staring at people, I'm not even thinking about that person.
Really?
My mind is. I wonder how many exo-Earth-like planets are there in the world. Like I will really catch my mind in that way.
Okay, and then you're just going.
But so like it's that stare where people think I'm looking at them, and people say I have like this.
So it's like it's actually introspective.
Out.
It's an introspective look.
It is
it's
like an
not
introspective
you. You're not taking in. You're looking in on yourself, but you're not taking in what's around you.
Exactly.
But you just land on something that gives you that.
I check out.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, when you check back in, and you're finally looking at the person who's looking at you, and now it's like awkward, and you're like, oh, my bad. It's like people always tell me that. It's like when they first meet me, I have such a stern look that like it naturally like brings them off, and then when they get to know how weird I fucking am,
I was gonna say that's what I was going.
Oh,
like, yeah,
you got a whole different.
Yeah, because that's what I was gonna say. You're a weird motherfucker, and I love weird motherfuckers because I'm a weird motherfucker. And so, like, just from the short little conversations that we had, I was like, something about this dude's interesting.
So, or mysterious as well.
Yeah, or mysterious. I like that.
Some people tell me a lot. I get that a lot.
I like mysterious.
Like, you're mysterious as hell.
Interesting is good too.
Interesting.
I feel like now that I know you, that mysteriousness has dropped.
Now it's just
interest.
He's just a regular weird ass dude.
Yeah. So.
Where were we originally, actually?
We were talking about bisexuality.
Oh, and the whole. Let's go back.
And the whole, yeah, we go back. And then.
So what are your views on bisexuality? Please enlighten me. I want to know.
Literally don't give a fuck about people.
Okay.
So, like, I don't care. Like, it's really weird because
Or what do you think it is? Like,
oh.
Like, what is your view in the sense of...
I think it's someone that has a drive for just... It doesn't matter. I don't want to say.
Don't see his hands.
Yeah, so I'm doing like a little.
Wavy.
It's an inclusive, wavy,
it's like a
jellyfish
fire wave. Yeah, like a little jellyfish. Jellyfish is perfect. That's what you did.
Yeah, it's a jellyfish. Yeah. But it's just wow. I'm high. I'm looking at that.
Just to know.
Just to know.
Rewind.
Screw.
Pause.
I think it's. I feel like when I'm talking about it right now, it's just like an inclusion of everything, an inclusion of sex, an inclusion
like just
of
everything.
Like, yeah, like that's what I think. Because
elaborate on that. Like, what do you mean? Just like you just like everything.
I'm grabbing people generally, so it's like your females and your males.
And it's just
and just yeah. It's an orgy.
Everybody get
It's an orgy.
No,
It's just.
I think it's just experiences, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I grew to appreciate the fact that you just experience things with everybody.
Okay.
Just like each person are like their own entity. They have like their own story. And so when you're attracted to them and then like sex comes into play and then you get to know a little bit of like who they are. To me, that's like very interesting. But I think I also struggle with love in the sense of it's hard for me to attach to one person.
Now, why is it?
I don't know. Maybe it goes back to like not accepting.
Okay.
Like it's hard for me to see, like to love someone and to like marriage and then like that whole mentality like that blows my mind when I think about it.
That's scary.
That's perspective for me.
The one reason why I didn't date for a long time.
Yeah,
because for me it was very much like first person you date, married, good. That's in your life.
And then like, they break your soul, and then it's like, oh, what fucking life is this? I don't want this.
Yeah. So like within the last 2 years, really, is when I had finally was able to let that go. And so now I've gotten to a place where within the last 2 years, I was able to let that go. Mm-hmm. That hang up and that like, oh my gosh, I can't like interact with
why do you think you let it go? Like, what was the catalyst for?
I was fucking lonely. Goddamn.
The good old lonely spell. That'll get you in the bed.
It's like it was lonely, but I had grown a lot over the last 2 years.
Like mentally,
as a man, as a person, as who I've always had a very good sense of who I wanted to be, but structure is one of the things I learned in the last 2 years. So having structure within myself helped me see that, I can totally maintain a relationship with somebody. Like I have the ability to do it because I never dated when I was in high school.
Why?
I was homeschooled all the way through. I say that like I couldn't have because there's a bunch of kids that did.
Yeah.
I totally could have. I knew some homeschool whores. I knew like all the people. Yeah,
you called them the homeschool whores.
Yeah,
I knew
like 3 of them off the top of my head.
Break down the road.
No, literally, I've been offered to walk a mile to this girl's house before I could drive to get some pussy.
Like dead ass.
Dead ass. I actually talk about it in my stand-up bit that I'm writing. Okay. Because I watched her put a screwdriver inside of her vagina. And when she finished...
Bro, what are they doing to those homeschool kids, bro? No. Screwdriver? Who thinks of that, dude? What?
That was what...
It's like, give me the tool.
Yeah, and literally fucking the tool.
Monkey wrench.
So, like, and when she finished, she was like, oh my God, I'm bleeding. Oh my gosh, you fucked me so hard, like, virtually, that I made myself bleed. And like, you think about that. That's a kid that's like, how old was I? I was like 15 maybe. Like... And that was like my first sexual experience with another person that I knew that I could physically see and physically touch like on another day. You know what I mean? Like,
so it was just like that taboo.
Yeah, it was weird. It was
like, let me go, just experience.
Because it's like, it's very weird. Because you're like, oh, this chick just fucking put a goddamn screwdriver. I know that's not what it's used for. But like, it's, and like, my idea of sex was it wasn't small. Because my mom used to talk to us about sex like all the time.
Really?
Like all of her sexual, not all of her, but most of her sexual experiences. Like we had a class when I was homeschooled called Life. And we'd sit down and just she would just talk about life stuff that happened in her life, family members and all that stuff. So like getting into high school and being around other kids and stuff, I already had an aforementioned like heightened knowledge of people and the way they think and things like that because of hearing the experiences that my mom and her family and our family have had. Oh. So when I get into high school, I'm one of the smarter kids there socially because I know how to interact with you based on your level of consciousness.
So you went into high school just knowing how to interact with people.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. It's amazing. I think that's why I'm so good at my personality, my personability with people. Is that a word? I don't know.
Personability?
Personability?
It sounds like it should be.
Personal. I'm using it. Fuck it.
Adaptable?
Yes. No.
Are you very adaptable?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, okay. Like, one of the things I struggled with growing up was, like, not my identity, not who I was, but it goes along the idea that, like, don't change who you are for other people. That. But I love to put on not personas. I love to put on different cultures and different people. So, like, I was friends with, like, some of the thug kids, and I was friends with, like, the redneck kids, and I was friends with, like, the preppy kids. So I was, like, very much a chameleon. That's it. I was very much a
social chameleon?
Yeah, because I can blend in, and I can become, and I can interact, and I can learn, and just, like, I'm like a fly on the wall that just gets to watch these people.
He's like a creeper.
Yeah.
It's like, I got like a fly on the wall. You don't know who I am.
You just get to see people. You just get to see people in their own circles, very comfortable.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I'll say the military kind of, being a military brat and having to like move after being 6 months to like different parts of the world has kind of made me a social chameleon. So just like you, I've had friends who are like punk rock and like hip hop and like country.
And just like all
like
this stuff.
Like you just adapt to them all.
Yeah. And like when it got to the point where it's like, who are you? It was like, well, I'm all these things. Like, because I interact. I am... And that's why
Game of Thrones fans sound like something Bran Stark would say.
Yeah.
You everyone.
So now it got to a point where I was like, have you ever listened to Common's album B?
Mm-mm.
Oh, have you heard I Want to Be As Free As the Spirits of Those Who Left? I'm talking Malcolm, Coltrane, my man, Yusef. That whole album is phenomenal, wonderful. And it's called B. And the first song was B ... So in my high school years, I was very lonely. I was really depressed because I need to be out and open, but I couldn't go anywhere because I didn't have a job at the time, and I was just doing schoolwork, and it was before we joined the homeschool co-op. So I'm just stuck. I'm like inside of this, like my room, and that's why I love my room now, because I've been out so much.
Now it's like it's a full circle where it's like,
now
I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I love it. I love my room so much. So it got to a place where, who am I if I can become all these things?
Okay.
So I be
everything.
I am that I am.
Why do you sound like like I have this motivation app? Like that sounds like something that app would send me.
Yeah.
It does.
So like that's what I adopted.
But what if that is life, my dude? Like everything you experience is just you. And since I don't know who I am because I'm not done experiencing.
Mm-hmm. No one is. But with that becomes, this is for me. No, this is my experience.
Okay.
With that, for me, that having that entire freedom would have destroyed me. Like, in a way that, so one of the reasons why I didn't go to college was because the money, number one. But number two is like, I was going to fuck everything on the earth.
Fuck everything on the earth?
I was just like...
Everything has got to get it.
Like, I was like... Because I'm a very sexual person. Like,
and so that's what it was.
My family is very sexual. So that freedom I've learned... That's why I like structure. Is because I can structure myself within where I should be.
Like you have split personality this
no,
like if I like unlock this key, like a demon is gonna be out of you. And like you're gonna be sitting here and then the Jeremiah demon's gonna be looking at me and I'm be like, oh, this whole neighborhood is fucked. Gotta go.
No, it's the idea that God, no, that's my train of thought. Is that idea that you can the idea you can be. Oh, that's why structure. Because I feel like I'm meant to do things and like amazing things and great things. And if knowing that freeness, because I'm very much a free spirit, but if I don't control it in some sort of way,
right,
it can just go all over the place. And whatever this deep desire inside my heart is not going to be fulfilled. And that's the hell that I would hate to live in, is not to have done whatever is inside of me.
Like a vampire.
So
consume it all like as soon as you.
But I think
I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah, I know. It's like taming the monster that's within you, so that when need be, you can release it.
What will require that monster? That sounds like.
But that's you. The monster is you. You have to learn how to control the monster within you.
That's true.
That way you can, because everything can be used in some sort of way. It's like a tool. Everything is a tool. Every person is a tool. Every emotion is a tool. How do you want to manipulate that tool, and what are the consequences of that manipulation of that tool?
That's true.
Mm-hmm. So that's where structure comes in.
A lot of consequences.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I learned through Assassin's Creed, like I used to play the shit. We talked about that earlier. Yeah. I used to play the games like crazy, and I love this, like the kind of religious subtext, but like the futuristic subtext, and like just the higher minded, thought provoking things.
Like a higher consciousness.
The higher consciousness. It took me on a whole, what's the word? It took me on a very cool path of just like reading all these different things. And one of the comments, or one of the quotes that I picked up from that time that I adopted was, "I will not let consequences dictate my course of action."
I will not let consequences dictate my course of action. I like that.
It's great.
Wow.
Because that means you are the owner of your choices and your consequences.
Whether they're good or bad.
Whether they're good or bad. But just because a situation requires a negative, not necessarily a situation requires it, because a situation pushes you towards a negative event doesn't mean you can change that. You can choose not to fully fall into that.
You gotta go
It's very hard because we are humans. We are pushed by emotions and feelings and things. But it's getting to the mental knowledge of use your emotions for the best possible
outcome.
Yeah.
I like that. I would say that has gone more towards how I see like my life and like who I'm attracted to and who I chase. It's just like now I just like to experience people and experience emotion, whether it's like good or bad. It's like now, even though I still have like my guards up about when people get certain close to me, it's like I have like an unlock. The lock is still on there, but it's unlocked. Yeah. And so now I just like to experience people for like who they are. Yeah. Whether it's like negative or positive. And I think like when you get like that freeing sense of you just experiencing people, no matter how it ends, it's just like, it's freeing.
It's freeing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of people that I regret because of how closed off I was. Like when things get serious, it's like you almost create reasons of why
you can't allow someone
to get that close. They got to be doing this. They got to be doing, it's just like your own psyche, like will fuck you up.
Well, and that's getting to that place of the brain is such a powerful thing.
It is.
Like we trick ourselves even when we know something.
Could be good.
It could be good. It could be
if you just tried, and then your brain is just like, your heart is like, are you sure? It's like that little whisper on it. Are you sure? Do they deserve your heart? No, they don't. And it takes over, and then when you just now you just experience for what it is. If it turns out good, great. If it doesn't, you either live or you experience.
What's something else that you have struggled with as a human being on this earth? And are you still struggling with it? And if you have overcome it, like stepping outside of the bisexuality, just you as a person. Okay. Like what's something that you've had to battle with as Brandon that you have either overcome or haven't? And if you haven't, how are you dealing with it? How are you managing it? I feel like this is I shouldn't ask this after our bisexual talk.
This is a very loaded question.
You don't have to answer it. We can just keep going.
Because it's a matter of, I would say the thing I struggle with like the most, but you got to think about most of our lives is filled around like love and like sexuality and just experiencing people. Like, and most of everything you do, it deals with who? People. Yeah. People. The places that you go, who do you meet that you end up liking? People. So it's just like sexuality to me is just like a really big part. Yeah. Of like who I am and whom I've developed, and like accepting sexuality, like it's made me, just chase things with like fury in a sense. Yeah. When you don't have like those chains holding you back, you just you come out like a phoenix, like ripping away the skin. And
that's definitely
like
the
phoenix.
I just want to go quick.
Woof. But even if you look at it like in like societal standard of what bisexuality is, it's like, realistically, through my view, it's more accepted in females than in males.
Yes. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Why is there like a hate? It's like that alpha male syndrome, where it's like,
I'm Jason Momoa.
Yeah, it's just like, raw. I like Jason Momoa.
I love him. He's great. I love him. He's great.
I love Jason Momoa.
He's like alpha male that I thought
he is like that. You gotta die if you touch me.
Yeah,
like, you can't do that. That's gay.
But I can love you real sweet.
Yeah, but I can like hit your balls. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely get that. I love it.
But then, like,
I didn't mean to throw him under the bus.
Yeah, love Jason Momoa, by the way. But in the essence of, you look at bisexuality and like the female world, then it's like,
oh, this is hot. That's sexy.
hot.
She wants
Sexy.
like
That's lust.
learn herself.
And then you look at the male world and it's like, yo, you're just gay. And you're like, nah, I'm pretty sure. The girl I just banged, like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. And they're just like, nah, you're just confused. No, that's hot. Yeah. Whoa. That's it's gay, bro. Like the old frat style. It's gay, bro. Like, you're just waiting. And then you get like, I feel like, in my opinion, I think most people in the world are bisexual.
Yeah.
Because bisexual is just not being attracted to a specific gender, according to that definition.
Yeah.
In case people try to throw in.
You're losing me. I got confused.
Yeah. Skirt, pause.
No. Think about it and then say it again.
Oh, no. I just forgot it. So you made me lose it. Why'd you say think about it?
Because I was trying to
hold on.
Understand it.
So, like, yeah, I got it. Clay. He lost me. Now I'm back. All right. So, which in turns, like, bisexuality is what? It's being attracted to not a specific gender.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
So, which in turns is a form of, like, pansexuality. Bisexuality is like saying each one is a gender, and I'm attracted to both genders.
Pansexual,
whether they're male or female. Pansexual is like
everything outside of male and female.
Let's not label it a gender, and I'm just attracted to people.
But
whether or not
also
you meet people who just want to be, I guess that would go on more of like the trans community.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
Pansexuality would include like the whole.
I'm in a learning experience, and I don't mind, like, because I'm trying to talk with you. I don't.
Well, shit, we're both experiencing that. Like,
yeah, like, so if y'all get pissed at us, we're some niggas
like,
trying to.
I told you guys,
shit.
this is just my view.
We're niggas trying to stay in the world.
Yeah.
God dang.
Shit.
Like, that's it.
Don't
you
come
cannot,
at us.
You cannot be mad.
We're admitting that we don't know a lot.
Yeah,
we're trying to educate ourselves.
Yes. What are we doing as a society? Where are we going?
I think
we are the aliens.
Our ultimate goal is to get to immortality.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like always how to live longer, how to regenerate, how to clone.
What are you?
We just literally want to live forever. That is our goal.
Could you live forever? Do you think you could do that?
That would be like long. I think I can do it, but at which point would you have experienced everything? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be cool though, in the sense of everything always develops? So you think about civilizations. Mm-hmm. So you will literally see the rise and fall of different civilizations.
See, like, that would be cool, but I think that's what makes life beautiful, is like knowing that it's going to end and seeing, like, for you, like, what are the most beautiful experiences that I can try and access in this lifetime? And for me, it's like, what can I learn to build up who I am as a person to be at this fucking amazing level? And how can I help others see that you're not a piece of shit, you're not fucked up, all these things. That's kind of like
this is just life. This is just life.
Yeah, and just like living an experience. Yeah,
just life. You're like the life doctor.
So like, and it gives me more of a drive to do it because I know I'm gonna die at some point. What can I do?
So it's just
the
like
time that I have, and I feel like it makes you appreciate life, knowing that one day you're gonna die.
Actually, I think that's a big reason why I came out as well.
Yeah.
It's just like, do you want to die this way? And then it's also like you owe it to the people that care about you. Mm-hmm. Something of that nature, of that big, something that could involve, like a love story.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Creating a life outside of yourself.
And it's just, like, just live life and experience it, because you don't know. Are you promised tomorrow? Mm-hmm. No. Mm-hmm. So why not just try to, like, experience everything and, like, take it for what it is? Whether if it's considered negative, I just consider it like a lesson learned. Yeah. Lesson for the better. I ain't gonna make that mistake again. You know what to look out for. Or, like, you fuck people up and it's just like, shit, sorry. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think people should just experience. That's part of me, like, coming out and then me pioneering. Because I get, like, this image that most people often assume that I'm just straight. Yeah. Because of how I act, and then you find out, and then it's just like, some people are like, "What?" You can tell they're like negative. Really, just like, "Oh, okay." And those people are like, "I knew it. You're weird." It's like, would me being weird change my sexuality?
Yeah.
So, but okay, if that's how you want to go about that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's so freeing to just experience. I'm not going to lie.
That's good. No, that's good.
Like, it was just like a way. I was really drunk when I told my uncle, by the way. Like, have you ever had a golden monkey? It's like 9.5% beer.
90?
9.5% alcohol. In beer standpoint, that's really fucking
No, that's a lot.
strong.
Because Orpheus, they have Transmigration of Souls, 10%.
Exactly. There's like some 11%. Nice. But you know, the average beer is like what, 4.2 to 4.5?
Yeah.
And so I was like down in the bad boys. Like, I remember texting him. Me expecting that he's not going to be there for like another hour. And I was like, I got to tell you something. And I was like, I got an hour to calm my fucking nerves. And he was like, oh, I'm there in 2 minutes. I was like, oh, my Jesus. And you're sitting there and you're like, oh, fucking, next thing you know, 3 cans of the beer is gone. I'm like, oh, all right. And then you went to go tell him. And then I get more of a response of, what else? Is that it? It's like, yeah, well, what else you got to tell me? It's like, that was it, dude. It's like, oh, fuck, live your life. Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Is that it, though? For real? I was like,
there's got to be more.
Bitch, I lived my whole life, like, stressed out, like, going through shit happening with friends, and, you know, you live your whole life just experiencing shit.
Mm-hmm.
And, like I would say most of, like, high school, it's like you just hate. Like that stuff, like if it's wrong, like why would it be wrong if I feel it?
Yeah.
You go through a lot of self-hate.
Yeah.
And so it is like, you know, people have ultimately killed themselves for stuff like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's it can drive someone to a very serious point.
Like a very dark headspace.
Yeah.
And it's just like stories that I've read and people that I've known, like it could take a very dark turn. You know, some people have been kicked out and gone homeless based on that. But then ultimately, you know, they still came out and were still being themselves. That's just who they were.
Yeah.
And so, like, ultimately, like, when you start thinking about these stories, and it's just like, people are going to have to know one way or another or going to figure it out, then it's just like, you just experience it and you just say, fuck it. Let me dive. And then ultimately, you start getting more positive reinforcements. And then I've had friends coming out to me. These are friends who are married. And they're like, oh, yeah, my spouse knows. I'm just like, what the fuck?
What are these things?
Yeah, it's just like everybody starts coming out. Oh, me too, dude. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't expect you would be. And you're just like, huh?
A whole new
Yeah, and it's just like 80% of the world is bi. Or you just like, you have like experiences and then like people are like, I normally don't do this. Sure, you don't. Okay.
Well, I think that's why I'm very open and honest about my life, because I feel like maybe you can take something from it.
Yeah.
And like by withholding what's going on within you, you don't get the proper care that's needed. You don't get the proper attention, but you also don't get to share your personality, your story, and who you are with the world.
And why not?
Yeah. Like you're here, you might as well.
Why not just enjoy it and feel free? Mm-hmm. Because ultimately, I think growing up, everybody has like that popular, unpopular mindset. It's just like you want certain people to like you, but you know if they know one thing, then they won't like you. And so you build yourself on being like a societal standard to be liked by everyone. Yeah. And then ultimately you just figure out that eventually people are going to figure out anyway.
Yeah. That took me back to something you said when I talked about how you used to want to be a part of be a part of all these different parts of society and like growing up. But like before I could do that, I had to get the place to where I knew who I was to the I am that I am. So that way I can be all these other things.
And it's just like you're attaching an experience.
Yeah. And
that's
then you
everything you experience is just like attach.
Yeah. And then
for what it is, you take a piece of it and it like molds you. It's almost like putting a puzzle together of your life.
And if you have to, sometimes you have to remove parts of it.
You do.
Because it gets either unhealthy.
Like, that one didn't fit. Yeah. Thought it did. Different color.
Unhealthy or something. And you're like, I need to maintain this level of health that will push me farther and beyond.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of like it in the sense of, I want to break that whole barrier of people who think people are gay. Like you ultimately have to constantly see like a sign. There's always have to be like a sign. Like something. It's like, oh, he's got to be gay.
Yeah.
But then most oftentimes you'll make that assumption and then you're just married to a woman.
Yeah, no, I've actually seen that.
And you're just like,
really?
my radar is like fucking
fucked
10, like about to break.
I know nothing.
And that's what just made me take off this whole like trying to categorize certain things. Like why? In the sense of like just because who that person is and they embody this, we just automatically, what did our mind tell us? Oh, they got to be on the cover.
And I think it gets you to a place of being genuine. I go back to genuine all the time.
Yeah,
like,
it take you out of your element.
Yeah, and it makes you come clean in front of whoever you interact with.
Yeah, and you'll realize how like ungenuine your mind is, and it's almost like unlocking a key. And you're just like, there's just like a whole spectrum.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, when people see like a feminine man married to a woman,
they're like, he's getting dick on the side.
Yeah, or he's just like undercover. But hell, I thought that about Chrisley. What was his name? You remember the TV show Chrissy?
No.
He's like a very like metrosexual, like prissy father.
No.
Married to a, like, I'm talking like, he's pretty like a feminine father. So like I used to always think, I'm like, there is no way in hell. But what if that's just what he is?
Yeah.
And that's just who he liked and who he decided to marry. And just what if? Yeah, of course people ultimately do that, which is pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Like people do hold back or they'll wait till they're like old in life before they even come out. And I was just like, I can't be an old man. Like fucking now want to bust out with it.
Yeah.
Like, that's in me personally, not to bash on those guys who
for sure,
had to deal with that their entire life.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I just want to experience. And I don't want to be like locked down on something that ultimately who dislikes it is not really going to be a part of your life at some point.
Do you think because you, and this is a thought, I'm not trying to, I'm just thinking, because you have so much freedom with it, is you think that's why you can't, it's harder for you to emotionally connect?
No, because I think that just goes back to my own insecurities.
So what is that
like? I think like my insecurities goes back to me like attaching to people. I think that's like a young age, and then you're not really realizing that young love ain't gonna last much too long. I mean, it's possible, but and I think just going through like those heartbreaks, but then like I'm one of those people who are like, if I fall, like I fall hard. Yeah. Even like as an adult, I think I'm more on the guard because in the sense that just who I am personally, if I like somebody like that, I fall really hard. Yeah. And it's just like I think I get afraid that I'm being hurt, so that my mind spins things. It's like, oh, they got to be doing this. Oh, they got to be doing this. Yeah. And I still do that to the outside. So I think my sexuality doesn't necessarily put a lock on who I want to be with. I think it's just like my own insecurities of being more afraid that I'm going to get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. So it goes down to an emotional level.
Yeah, it's just a straight emotional level. Because even though I wasn't out with it and I was still dating like girls or guys, it was just like those insecurities weren't a sexuality insecurity.
Okay, gotcha.
That was more of like an attachment. Nice. To like love. Like I needed to see a strong view.
That's good. Awesome.
And then it's like now, I think that's what I struggle with now. Now it's just like I'm literally forcing myself. It's like even though I feel insecure, and I'll make myself like conjure up reasons of why I shouldn't be in a relationship, or I just like let myself feel that. But then I'm just like, okay, if you get hurt, fuck it, you just get hurt. Yeah. If it turns out great, okay, fuck it. It turns out great. Just experience it.
Being able to learn how to live.
And it's just
putting on, taking off.
Yeah, and it's just like when you finally reach that level, you get to a point of like greed, where it's just like I want to experience everyone. Like,
do it.
You're different. You're weird. You've told me about this. Like, let me know like inside of your head. Like I get obsessed with the way people think, like why they do what they do. Yeah. Like sometimes my mind can obsess over that. Like I like looking at people interact and being like, okay, they're really attracted to each other, and then they're not. Do you ever do that?
I used to do this thing called "What Are Those People Thinking?" where I would sit somewhere and I'd watch people interact with each other, and I would verbalize everything that they were like talking. Like I would make a whole story. So it'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going over here," and I'd, like whatever their like physicality is how I would interpret.
Yeah, exactly. Like how they were like leaned in.
Yeah, how they leaned in, how they talked to each other. Like, yeah, and it's so I miss
open body language, and you're like,
it's like gotta be together. I was at SCAD one day. I was at SCAD, and there's this dad on the phone ignoring his son, and basically every couple minutes someone hit the dad, and the dad kind of be annoyed and say something to him. So my whole thing was like, yeah, babe, we're here at SCAD, and my oldest daughter, she's here. She's like watching the school, but as soon as she goes to college, I'm gonna like leave my wife and fuck her and the kid. And then the kid would like hit the dad, and then the dad would like look at the kid, and that's when I'd be like, hey, shut the fuck up, son. You're not even my son anymore. Fuck you, bitch. Little shit. And
you go back to shit bag.
Like, yeah, and then you go back to talking on the phone in real life, and I'd just be like, yeah, bitch, this little fucking kid was like trying to talk to me, so I would go really into it.
I do that. Hell yeah, I do that. But it's like, you know what? I feel like there's just some things that I wanted to touch up on that my mind can't get to right now.
No, that's fine.
I think it will because everything's coming out.
Yeah.
But it's like I want to take like that whole stigma of how someone should just supposed to be acting.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you act this way, oh, you gotta be straight. But it's just like, who cares?
I wear women's jeans, not now. Because they fucking feel good, goddamn. Like
it's like the stretch,
and I love. It's a stretch. I used to do parkour and free running. I love stretch being able to move. Yes, it's like them motherfuckers are the best thing in the world.
Instead, when you get like the lock jeans, and it's
you're just like I'm down in the woods trying to get some mud.
Yeah,
like
they suck on, and then you can, especially in the summer with those type of jeans. Yeah. It's like sweat.
It's disgusting. It's denim on your skin, and it's just like
stretch fit. And it's like
it's just like I wear jeans all year. I fucking hate shorts. I wear jeans all year.
I hate shorts.
Like I just love it. So like that, within it's like, oh, are you? I don't even know what you would call that. Because I used to wear women's like coats and stuff too. Because the cut on a dude's body, some of the women's clothing cuts look fucking dope. Like,
my guy was like, I like the cut.
Well, I have a friend, I have a friend who's about as tall as you, and he had this, like, woman's jacket that was, like, fucking dope. He had two of them, and, like, that was, like, he was kind of known as, like, he had his own style. People used to call him the pirate back at home.
He was eccentric?
He was eccentric, yeah.
The pirate?
I like
it. He rocked that shit.
He rocked it. He had boots, dude's pants, women jacket, dope shirt, and he was Sicilian. He is, I don't know what it was. He is Sicilian, so he had long hair, and he'd put
why did people assume that he was gay or something like that?
I don't know. I just was talking about style.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, that was not clear.
No, I thought, I
was talking about, like, but, like, why, like, we're wearing women's clothing, like, and then it's a dude, like, what is that, like, what's up with you motherfuckers? Like, nothing.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? Maybe I'm trying to relate something to
it was relation to that.
Yeah,
it's like putting that stigma on something.
Yeah. I also got good fucking calves. I'm sure them shits off.
Show them calves off?
Yeah.
Get them jeans and pop them bad boys. Yeah, you gotta see these, bro. I got skinny legs, dude. Okay.
So, now it comes to the point of the episode where I get to ask you a question from our previous guest.
Okay.
Brandon, are you ready?
Fuck no.
Every episode... I don't have to do this every episode. I'm just going to go ahead and read it. Oh, no, I do have to explain it. Not to you, it's to the listener, because apparently people are listening to this. Every episode, we have the current guest ask a question, so that on the next episode, that guest number 2, gets a question from guest number 1.
Okay.
You're going to answer said question, because you were guest number 2. You're going to answer the question from guest number 1 today.
Got it.
After you answer that question, you get to ask question number 3 a question.
Perfect.
And next episode, and so forth and
so forth. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's dope. And for those of you who don't know who our last guest was, go listen to the last episode. That's how you'll find out.
Agreed.
Who was the most influential person during your elementary, middle, or high school years that wasn't your parents?
Oh, shit. Who was the most influential person that wasn't
your parents?
Through my elementary. Is this elementary, middle, or
all through, or either or, yeah, all through or during or one season of your life.
That's a good ass question.
That's why he asked.
Damn. I don't think I have someone specific, man. I think I've, kind of took heed or took like advice from people depending on like where I was at that point in life.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm much more of like a loner. Like I like to figure things out on my own. And it's like, of course I'll go to people who can give me like a different perspective. But when it comes to like certain things in life, my mindset is like I have to experience it myself.
Yeah.
In order for me to, you know how people will tell you, it's like, oh, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
My mindset is like, it might not happen that exact same way. So what if it turns out into a positive?
Mm.
And so, other than like my parents, I don't think. I mean, like I said, I was a big wrestling fan. Shit.
So was it? Like,
I was rolling my eyes at people tombstoning their asses if they're being rude in my head. Following people like The Rock and like what he project out into the world. But believe it or not, Dwayne Johnson was like a big idol of mine.
Nice.
In a sense of like how he just was able to like captivate and inspire people, like just like his presence, like the charisma of that man.
Yeah.
Is fucking ridiculous. And it's just like something I've kind of like wanted to like adapt in myself.
Nice.
Or just like people like Denzel and like their mindset on like work ethic. Mm-hmm. So it's like different people I've kind of latched onto. So I wouldn't say I've had like someone specific like throughout those years of growing up other than Mother Dearest. Yeah. I hope I answered that.
Yeah, you did. You did. So Brandon,
shit.
What is your question for
after being asked that? How can I like?
Literally anything you
anything. Want. Okay. I want you to tell us about a time in which you had like a certain moment in your life, like resulted in like a character switch, like a defining moment that defined like who you are, or maybe a new direction in life that you took. Like what was that like specific moment that happened for you?
That kind of changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Well,
I hope I worded that right.
I think it's straightforward. I mean,
the last question was really good. I had to.
You had to like kind of get
find something.
So Brandon, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
I want to have you on again. You can talk about all the things in the world. You can find me, Jeremiah, on Instagram at ParkourGeek, ParkourG33K. You can also find me on YouTube at A Tokens Take, ATOKEN''S You can also find me on Facebook, but I'm not going to add you because I don't know you. Brandon, where can people find you?
Just find me on hybrid_origins for Instagram and hybrid origins on their Snapchat. If you guys got any questions, any perspective on sexuality, bisexuality, just let me know. Or if you just want to vent to me your story, I love hearing people's stories. So
nice.
Please.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Absolutely. Be love, be life, be.
You get on that horse, you gotta ride it.
All the way.
Obviously, that's